Sure. Well, I've been a financial market economist for 25 years. So I started my life very much on the sell side of the market, working for various banks. From 1994 to 2009, I worked for Citibank. I ran the economic department for Citi Australia, so almost 15 years there. But I've been at Colonial First State since March 2009. I run the economic research area, investment markets research for Colonial First State. So first job on the, if you like, on the buy side of the market after many years of sell side experience. Well, I think education is extremely important. I think for anybody investing in markets, whether for their own retirement or for returns, they need to understand what's happening in markets, what's happening in the global economy, what's happening in their specific areas of interest. So I think education is absolutely critical. People need to make very informed decisions about their retirement, about their savings. And I think part of that process is to give them as much information as they possibly can, presented in an easy to understand way. But it's a complex world, so people need to try and be on top of the big issues, really influencing and impacting on markets around the world. Well, I started my career in 1986, so the stock market crashed a year after I started in 1987. And I think post that period, you saw the Australian economy undergo significant reform through the recession in the early 1990s, and through the 1990s, lots of reform for the economy, particularly in the banking sector. And then over the last 20 years or so, we've had things like the Asian crisis, and of course tech wreck in the US in the early 2000s, and obviously more recently what we call the global financial crisis. But the Australian economy has not experienced a recession since 1991. So it's the strongest performing economy of all the major global economies over that period. And I think that's because we learnt the lessons early on good economic management, good corporate management. The introduction of the superannuation industry has been really critical. So I think over all the challenges the world economy has experienced in the last 20 years or so, the Australian economy has continued to adapt and survive and really make the best of the opportunities that come our way. Well, I think there's a lot of challenges at the moment, particularly Europe and to some extent the US, but I think what's really exciting is that the global economy is going through a big structural change, and that's the re-emergence of China and India and other Asian countries as dominant economic powers. And that re-emergence is a great opportunity for Australia. We have the resources and financial services, education, tourism that part of the world's going to be demanding. So it's a very exciting time for Australia. The challenge for us is to make the best of that opportunity.